Hey, this is TK11697, and this is part 2 of assembling a Walt Trooper Factory Imperial Gunner helmet. This is the video about trimming. I know trimming this helmet, or really anything with this helmet, is very daunting, so I'll try to walk you through it. You're going to get 3 major pieces that we'll worry about right now. That's going to be the main helmet part here, and then you're going to get 2 pieces that are swoops. Now, I said it in the introduction video, and I really hope that people followed along. One swoop you could trim following the trim lines, and it's going to look like this. You know, it is the swoop. It's the part that's going to go on the back. It's actually going to be 14 inches across, 14 inches diagonal, horizontal, vertical, however you want to put it, but 14 inches in either direction. And it's going to sit along the back of the helmet. That's the trim lines are pretty clear. This is probably the easiest thing to trim. You're going to round out the edges, etc. But and I'll show you some close-up pictures and pictures of the final product, the final helmet I've got in the back here. So don't worry too much about that. The second swoop is the one I hope you didn't touch, and it's the one that should have, I guess, I don't know what to call them. I guess you'd call them sideburns on the side here. It's the exact same piece, just cut very differently. So the front part of the helmet, this part here that goes along, that you see in the front, the jawbone, that's 15 inches across. So we're just going to measure the helmet around and leaving a 2-inch sideburn here and a 2-inch tall sideburn here and 15 inches across the front here. That way when it, you know, you're going to wind up having to put the, we're going to have to put a little bit of filler in here and the visor that goes across, but this part should be 15 inches. Now, you can cut the back off because you're going to wear the helmet and it's going to go up to your chin. So measure about 11 inches back, and you could draw another line across and cut that. You see it here. I didn't cut it yet, but your chin and neck are going to have to go somewhere. So again, we're going to do a half sphere over here to cut out, but we'll handle that later. I think that's going to be dependent on the user. I had to trim out a lot because I have a huge head. Other people, you probably just trim out a small portion. But what you should do, no matter what you trim, when you have the edges, you should do 3 inches from the side here, 3 inches from the side here, and 4 inches. This 4-inch piece here is what you should be cutting out. So it's going to be 10 inches total across with this 4-inch section here. And the reason you're going to do that is because after it's gone down about 3 inches, you're not going to, people won't see the cut if they're looking at you from the side. It'll just come across as this here. Don't worry about it this back, it's a little screwed up because this helmet's going to go over here. You really want to focus on a straight line down here, a straight line down here, and again 15 inches across here. Now, once you've done that, you've got the helmet, the Navy Talker helmet, which should be, as I showed before, if you use this ruler, 11 inches across. That's what the CRL is calling for. So find it at its widest part, make it 11 inches across. I notched a ruler to keep it together, that way I know. And then I put some seamstress tape, seamstress measuring tape around, because you want to get a nice flat line going across. Now, you want to have, the helmet itself is 37 inches around. You want to take about half of that, 19.5 inches. And you want to put it across the helmet, starting in the middle and around to the side. So you get 19 inches across here. So the exposed visor, the amount of visor that we have here on the helmet, the part that you see through, it's 11 inches. But you want to have an inch on either side before the helmet starts to curve down. So what you want to have is 13 inches of straight cut across. And then once you hit that 13-inch mark, a slope that goes down that you round out. But you definitely want 13 inches across the front. That's going to be just a straight line cut across the front here. And I'll show you on on the finished helmet the way that looks. It doesn't curve at all until you get to the very end, and then it curves down. And like I said, if you go down 3 or 4 inches, you can't even see where I've cut out this big chunk here to fit my giant head in. But you won't be able to see that. But you have 13 inches. The visor's 11, and you want to give it maybe an inch here. You can start to smooth it down a little bit, but definitely, I definitely have that the 11 inches, and I'd give it an inch on either side going around, and you just let it slope down gently where the 3 pieces join up over here. So, all right, so that's, I wouldn't say that's the easy part, but that part we could kind of one of the easier parts to get through in terms of all the cutting. The hard part is fabricating the ledge here that goes between where the visor is and where the jawbone ends. And that should be, I believe, 2.5 inches at its widest part. Yeah, no, I'd say 2 inches at its widest part. The CRL I think calls for 2 inches, but I'll double check that. So you take this piece of black plastic that you should get in your Walt Trooper Factory kit, and now that your jawbone is cut out and it's got the 15-inch circumference, you're going to hold that up to here. And if you can see correctly, I'll move this helmet so the video catches a little more of it. You're going to put it right up here and trace it out. Now you're going to need at least 5 inches of material in thickness to make this work, and this is right up to the 5-inch mark. So you're going to measure it out, take a pen or Sharpie, whatever you got, and you're gonna draw it out. Instead, it's draw a line across. And I know it's going to be hard to see, but that is going to be my basic shape of the jawbone, of the ledge that goes in the jawbone, and gives it some substance and some sense of thickness. And that's it. You're going to cut that out, trimming down the box and everything. I'm going to handle the comm box later because I'm going to show how to put LED lights. But and that'll pretty much be it. We're going to cut this out, and then it'll come down to assembly, and that'll be my next video. All right, see you then.